Hey, listen up. All of my workforce friends out there, whether you're ranchers, farmers, or you just need a pair of good leather gloves, look no further than Bare Knuckles. The best leather gloves ever made, featuring a patent design crafted for natural curve of the fingers. These gloves deliver a perfect fit, superior protection, and all-day comfort. Made from premium leather, right now get an exclusive 15% off, and you can find that at buybareknuckles.com. But make sure you use our code INFOGO at checkout. You can find that link in the show notes. Upgrade your hands, and remember, every purchase, well, it supports the show. So thank you.
If you love unforgettable treats, you've got to try Molly B's Gourmet Cookies. These aren't your average cookies. Molly B's brings bold, artisan crafted cookies straight to your pantry. We're talking chocolate, cherry, and amaretto and be cordial. Earl Grey, lavender, white chocolate, and lemon glaze in the tea. Even maple, bacon, whiskey, and white chocolate in the Boss Man. Founded by a single mom from Alaska, Molly Bees has become a national sensation. You get 10% off any product using our code INFOGO at mollybees.com. Find the link in the show notes.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm William,
And I'm Kat.
and that makes this a dash of info.
Little things you want to know.
And this episode is brought to you by the letter J and the number 2 and the color blue because I'm feeling partly cloudy today.
That was cute.
Thank you. All right. So, yeah, I don't even know where this episode idea came from, but, the letter J. So Kat, just to put this in perspective, what if I told you there was a time when Jesus didn't start with the letter J, or Julius Caesar was spelled IVLIVS? Or what if I said there was a time when the alphabet didn't even have the letter J at all? We think of the alphabet as ancient, fixed, or permanent, but one of its most common letters, well, it's only a few hundred years old.
But no, that's crazy. I didn't know that there was no J at any point in time. And then like Julius had V and an L. No, there's already an L, but a V's?
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. I mean, the letter J didn't appear till over 1500 years ago.
That's wild. Wild. It quietly reinvented itself during the Renaissance. And how did it break away from I?
And I know I am going to butcher some of these Latin words in here. Send it up. Let me know how I mispronounce something because I can guarantee you I'm going to mispronounce it.
Oh, same. My Latin is non-existent. We'll say non-existent.
Well, I guess we'll go back to the alphabet before the letter J. So I guess in order to do that, we got to rewind to ancient Rome. So when we picture the alphabet, we imagine the clean, tidy little 26 letters that we all learned in kindergarten. And I know I said kindergarten. Make fun of me. Everybody laugh. Um, but it was a neat lineup. I don't know everybody saw it above the chalkboard, especially if you're my age. You saw the alphabet above the chalkboard. It was all laid out for you. I imagine your generation probably had it ingrained in the chalkboard across the top, didn't it?
We had, I mean, I don't know. I went to like a billion different elementary schools. So each one of them was different. And most of them all had a whiteboard instead of a chalkboard. But I think in the early schools, there was a chalkboard or like half a chalkboard.
What
Yeah.
about your kids today, your little girls?
They probably, and then we had projectors later, but I think they have like a touch screen projector,
Uh,
Prometheus board or something like that.
anyway, just breaks my heart that they don't get to go dust those erasers anymore, you know?
No, so look, and I had a biology teacher. His name was Mr. Keeney, and he loved to show off these gigantic discs that had science on them. I mean, gigantic, like bigger than my head discs.
Hmm.
Yeah, like DVDs, records type thing. Like it was crazy.
Uh,
Sorry. As we
no.
digress on technology, let's get back to the letter
Okay, all
J.
right. Let's get back to the Romans. So they were working with a shorter guest list, right? Because classical Latin, well, the alphabet only had 23 letters. It had no J, no separate U, no W.
But that's right, three of our letters simply just didn't exist yet. The Roman alphabet looked something like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, X, Y, Z.
So did you notice anything was missing?
Yeah, no J, no U, and definitely no W.
And the letter V, well, it had double duty because it was both a vowel and a consonant. And that's the way it was for thousands of years. But today, we're going to focus on one overworked character in particular, and that is the letter I.
In classical Latin, I had two full jobs.
Wait, you had two full jobs?
You know,
Anyway, you
not
said I
an
had two full jobs, so I was
I
just
know.
curious.
I know. I
Oh,
did
you're
have a
talking about the
couple of jobs
letter
once.
I.
Right. The letter I has two full jobs.
Okay.
It represented the vowel sound ah, e like machine, and the consonant sound j like yes.
So the same letter had two completely different roles. How hard would it be to learn how to spell in with this alphabet? So imagine if we use the letter A for both apple and yacht. That's essentially what was happening, right? So let's take a famous example. Julius Caesar. Except it wasn't spelled Julius, Julius. It was spelled Ivlivscasar.
And here's the twist. The first I wasn't pronounced like E, it was pronounced like a Y. So it was more like Julius. There was no separate J symbol, no distinct character, no dot, no hook, just I doing everything with, I guess, an assumption and a hope that you're doing it right.
So I guess if you was to say Julius Caesar, you would still be right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
but
if you wanted,
technically politically correct, right?
yeah. So the Romans, well, they carved inscriptions into stone, and when they built roads across Europe, when the empire rose and fell, there was still no letter J, which means something wild. For most of ancient history, for the entire Roman Empire and for early Christianity, the alphabet worked perfectly fine without the letter J because it just simply didn't exist.
And nobody seemed to mind, really. But that's the world Jay was born into, a world where it wasn't even considered necessary. Fast forward to the Middle Ages. Handwriting styles evolve, scribes begin adding a decorative tail to certain I's, especially when I appears at the end of Roman numerals. Instead of I, they'd write J. And the long tail I starts appearing when the letter is used in a consonant. So it's important to note here at this point, it's not a new letter, it's just a visual variation. Visually distinct forms are the first step toward becoming structurally distinct. And this is where J is quietly born in handwriting.
So Jay is about to go viral. And before it does, I say we take a small break. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Meet Savoristo. They have premium craft decaf and half calf coffee with bold, rich flavor. Made from high altitude, hand picked Arabica beans and naturally decaffeinated with water or sugarcane processes, and there's no harsh chemicals.
But if you think chocolate, caramel, citrus, even bourbon pecan and mint and mocha, it's small batch roasted, literally so good, customers call it the best decaf they've ever tried.
Better sleep, less anxiety, all the flavor. Use our code INFOGO to get 25% off at checkout at savorista.com. You can also find that link in the show notes. Hey, William, do you love craft beer?
Yes, I do. We
If you're
could,
looking for the perfect gift for a beer lover or just want to show off your brewery pride, the Harpoon Shop has something you won't find anywhere else.
and here's something special just for our listeners. You can save 25% off just by using our code INFOGO at checkout. You can find that link in the show notes. Okay, so now that we're back, for centuries, the alphabet, well, it drifted along a fine line. Scribes wrote by hand, letters were flaxed, spellings varied, and nobody really panicked. Then in the mid 1400s, something changed, and the printing press arrives in Europe. And and now writing is no longer fluid, it's mechanical. Movable type means every letter must exist on its own physical object. So a tiny metal block, when the ink roller rolls across it and is pressed onto that paper, you can't kind of use a letter anymore. It's either there or it's not. And this is where the trouble starts because now printers, they're staring at two slightly different shapes of I.
Yeah, the plain eye and the long-tailed version scribes sometimes use for consonants. On parchment, that difference was decorative. In metal type, that difference becomes structural. If you cast two different shapes, are they still the same letter? Or are they just different ones? The printing press didn't invent J, it forced people to decide whether it existed.
Enter the Renaissance. This is the era of obsessed with order, classification, precision, rules. Scholars start looking at language the way scientists look at nature. And one of them, Jean Gregor Terceroni, is that right? We're
Gian
just
Gregorio Trishino, I bet, if you Google it.
let's just move on.
Okay.
So in the early 1500s, he argues something deceptively simple. Let's separate them. Let I represent the vowel sound and let the letter J represent the consonant sound. Not because it's new, not because the sound didn't exist before, but because clarity, well, it really does matter. He didn't invent the sound. He just, well, kind of said, hey, let's do this, and kind of give it some kind of distinction. It was a small proposal, but alphabetically, it was radical.
And printers slowly began adopting it. By the late 1500s and early 1600s, you start seeing J appear more consistently in printed works. But here's the fascinating part. The transition is messy. In 1611, King James Bible, one of the most influential English texts ever printed, still uses I for Jesus, I for John, and I for Jerusalem. Even at that moment, over 1600 years after the Roman alphabet formed, the split isn't fully settled. The alphabet is mid evolution. Imagine living during a time when a brand new letter is quietly being added to your language. No announcement, no ceremony, just printers slowly deciding that the tail on I deserves its own identity. And that's how J stops being a stylistic flourish and starts becoming a full citizen of the alphabet.
And then you have Shakespeare, who was born in 1564. He lived during the alphabet shift. Early text often use I, where we would now use J. Spelling was not standardized. Even his own name appears multiple ways, which gives a lot of conspiracy around him. And this is wild when you stop and think about it, right? Because the English alphabet wasn't fully settled until after Shakespeare was already famous. So J was still finding its identity.
Pepsi.
Coke,
Pepsi. Always.
Coke.
I even, when I texted you saying we were ready, or I was ready, I was like, yeah, no, I need a Pepsi. I even found a big cup.
You're breaking my heart over here. It's Coke.
Uh-uh. And one of the nice insulated ones so it stays cold. And it's not leaking on my end table over here. We're going to have to do an episode on linguistics now, right?
No, because I can't talk.
Well, how about I just do an episode on linguistics?
I'll just sit back and go, yeah, you got it, Kat. I'm rooting for you all the way.
I would love that. You have no idea. I think linguistics would be so fascinating.
Okay, put it on the shopping list.
I will. And
Okay.
if I don't forget, I'll try.
All of our listeners are going to be like, Kat, but William, he already can't speak English and you want him to do all this other stuff?
It's the basis of every language, the linguistics.
But all right, man, I reckon I got it. We'll work it out.
So, why J sounds so different everywhere? Now that J is official, it develops personality. In English, it's J as in judge, and in Spanish, it's kind of a harsh sound like Jose. In German, it's a Y sound like ja. And in French, it's kind of soft G sound. Now, why? Because J inherited different regional pronunciations from Latin's consonant I. It didn't create a new sound, it evolved differently in different languages. J is the linguistic rebel. Rebel is the rebel child of I.
J is the linguistic rebel child of the letter I.
Thank you.
You want to leave that in there?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So, but for most of history, Jesus began with the letter I. John began, well, with the letter I. Julius, well, it began with the letter I. So the alphabet we treat as ancient, well, it's really still evolving. J proves something very powerful. Even the smallest piece of language can take centuries to become official. The alphabet isn't frozen, it's alive. One of its youngest members used to just be a fancy version of the letter I. It's kind of short, wasn't
It was. Oh, we've been doing so many long ones. I was like, dang, that's it.
it? I know we have been working really, really hard. And I think getting some days off is going to be good for both of us.
Yes, yes. Even if we should be recording.
And we should probably be recording, but I don't think our listeners will mind if we took a day or two off.
No, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Hopefully not. In any case, if a letter can be born in the 1500s, what else in our language feels permanent but isn't?
I have a question about that. What about emojis? You see those more and more like younger writing.
Look, I love me some emojis. It's
I,
how I show my sarcasm.
I,
Otherwise, I sound like I'm being mean, and I promise that I'm not.
well, I don't know how to use them. I'm just going to be honest. I think we should do one on emojis.
The language of emojis.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you want to
Well,
do linguistics, we're going to have to do emojis.
yes.
Okay.
We're gonna have to make it like a like one linguistics and then some bullet points under that guy.
Sure.
So
So
anyway,
if you would like to support this podcast, tell a friend and help get the word out.
if you'd like to help us keep the show going, you can do so at Patreon. The link is in the show notes.
Kat and I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening.
Absolutely. Whether you've been with us for a while or just tuning in, please keep on listening.
Yep. And don't forget, you can join the Facebook group at Info on the Go,
Absolutely. Where you can share with us your show ideas.
or you can just simply ask us a question or join the conversation.
Right. And follow us wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, send us a text using the link in the show notes. But the most important thing you can do is leave a review.
It really does help others find us. You can also email us at
Am I going to get our email address right? Info on the go podcast at gmail.com. Yes, I nailed it.
You did. Excellent job. 10 out of 10. You need to put in like a stadium clapping sound there.
Because I always want to do info on the go at podcast gmail.com or something other. I don't know.
Need to get one of those sound boxes for me so I can just do it. I want little sounds in there. Do you know? I don't know. That's just me. Maybe it's too much. But anyway, but that is all one word. Till next time. Oh, you can also find that link in the show notes. Till next time.
We're both a little off. Stay curious.
Always.
Every morning starts with a choice. Don't settle for just coffee. Rise up with strong coffee. Meet the world's strongest cup of joe. Strong isn't just a drink, it's a movement. And strong stands for striving to reach our natural greatness.
Born from one simple need to be better. They rebuilt coffee from the ground up, infusing organic coffee with collagen, protein, nootropics, and functional ingredients that fuel your body and sharpen your mind. There's no crash, no compromises, just clean energy, focus, and flavor that fires you up.
Whether you're chasing kids, chasing goals, or chasing greatness, don't just wake up, rise up. Strong coffee, the world's strongest cup of joe, for a world ready to be better.
Use code INFOGO at checkout to save 15%.